Wow. Did we really get some great advice from you? Not you, Joe. You, our
fine.
listeners. Yeah, I wasn't talking to you. But we got great advice from you, our listeners, on packing and travel hacking, which is what we prefer. We prefer to hear from you, too, the real experts.
And apparently not from me. Not
I said
me.
you, too.
But we did hear. We did hear from Lee a few weeks ago, our friend Lee Huffman. And man, you had a lot to say when we asked, hey, Lee shared a lot of great stuff. He did, Crystal, share a lot of great stuff. But today we'll hear from Karen. Karen has a ton of tips. She has her own podcast and she wrote us a nice note. And then we had like 15 different pieces of advice from people in the Stacking Benjamins Facebook group.
Nice.
So, Crystal, I think during the second half, we'll pick a few of those out.
And let's point out, we actually know Karen. This is a real person, too. It's not a Karen. It's the Karen.
It's the cool, awesome Karen.
Yeah, the cool Karen. But at the end of this episode and every episode, you'll hear our Gear of the Day pick. And if you're looking for best-in-class gear that's worth the price, you want to head to our Amazon page at stackingadventures.com/gear of the day or GOTD. Get out the door, Gear of the Day, whatever you want to call it. And you'll help the show and you'll help yourself adventure better and for less money.
Ready for adventure? From vacation to staycation and from the mountains to the beach. This is the Stacking Adventures podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Stacking Adventures podcast. We head around the world on this show with you, our adventure community, to stack memories we will remember forever. She's Crystal Hammond.
And I'm Joe. He's Joe.
Nice job. Crystal, I love this topic because when it comes to packing, I like two parts of this. Number one, with the packing piece, I like packing my suitcase because I get fired up about the trip. I also like packing my suitcase because of the fact that it kind of is its own little adventure. How do I put just the right stuff in? I don't know about you, but I get a little upset when I pack stuff that I don't actually end up using.
I never get this right for packing. I could say I'm 100 for 100 for packing stuff that I never even touched during the whole trip. So what I love about this is I need to be told what to do. I need to be told what to pack and what not to pack and what not to forget. So I just love the learning process and hearing other people's tips so I could, pick and choose what I want to ignore and then say, darn, I should have listened. That's
Cheryl, my spouse, and I, Cheryl does a lot of the blogging on the website at Stacking Adventures. Crystal, she is really excited about using all these tips to make like a master packing list that we can give to people that sign up for our email. So people can get their master packing list and know they packed the right thing. So this will be great for you.
Oh, definitely. And speaking of email, if you want to hit the subscribe button, not hit it, smash it. How do we call it? Like the bros.
I think it is smash.
You smash that subscribe button. What did we named it? stackingadventures.com/ guess what? Subscribe.
No way.
Yeah.
So cryptic. That's so weird. We don't have a newsletter yet because this project is new, but when we go live, we can tell you that we're going live. Number two is when the packing list is created, you can get the packing list. We'll send out everybody who's a subscriber our master packing list. We hope to have that in the next few weeks. And when we finally, Crystal, have our newsletter, when new blog posts go live, we'll have all of those. So
episodes, we can connect the episodes too.
Fantastic. stackingadventures.com/subscribe.
Yep. And another thing I love for talking about the points too, there are people, I like it when you're listening and you're yelling at the car. So now you don't have to yell at the car. You can just smash leave us your story. And that way we can hear what you were yelling at the car, because sometimes we say the wrong things, or sometimes you have a way better way to get from point A to B. Sometimes we go A to QRSTUV back to B. So sometimes you have a more efficient route. So
and some of you did last week for Scotland. People definitely brought it. So if you have packing tips that you like that we still don't get to this week, or you have travel hacks, how to use points better, things like that, head to stackingadventures.com/mystory. That's a new URL.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I looked at it, I was like, oh, it almost looks like mystery.
And sometimes my story is a mystery. Like, I'm like, how did we get here? I don't know how we got here, but let's get out. All right. We ready for Karen?
Yeah. Let's hear from Karen.
Yes. Karen well, we'll let her introduce her show, but, we're going to spend some time on Karen's voicemail because she's packing in a lot for us. Here we go. Hey, Karen.
Hey there, it's Karen Cordaway from the Everyday Bucket List podcast. I'm here to give you some tips today. And my first tip is about packing. Studies have shown that Americans tend to overpack clothes. So be mindful of that. And 4 in 10 Americans intentionally overpack. So they're returning with items that were never worn. And that's precious space that you can put souvenirs in or just have a lighter bag when you're traveling. If you're,
let's stop there right away. I was talking to my cousin Peggy this weekend, and Peggy was talking about this ex-boyfriend and about how they went to the south of Spain, Crystal. She had one bag and she was so proud that she got her stuff in one of those regular, the ones that fit in the overhead bin bags to go to Spain. She had one bag. Her ex-boyfriend had 5 bags.
Diva. That's diva status there. What?
But he had to, they had trouble with their Ubers, with their taxis, because he had so many bags.
That's not so many. That's too many. I don't care who you are.
And I do agree with Karen that you need the space you're always going to buy stuff. You are going to, even if you're the most frugal person on earth, you're going to need that space. And even if you don't buy anything, who wants to travel with 5 bags?
Right. Well, that's true for 2 places I went, Italy and Hawaii, because in Italy, I wasn't expecting every store to actually have my size because I'm pretty tall. They had my size in so many clothes and they were so cheap. So I was like, oh, I'm buying all this stuff. And in Hawaii, it was with the shoes. Wasn't used to places carrying Sasquatch size shoes. So I'm like, they all have my shoes and they're so cheap, like very good quality and very great prices. And of course, Japan was where I had to buy a bag. That's how much stuff I bought. But yeah, I could see leaving room for souvenirs because you never know what's going to happen.
We actually on the trip to Peru, we've already got some people that have written us about their experiences in Peru. We'll get to that in a couple weeks. So if you've got Peru advice, Chile advice, again, stackingadventures.com/mystory. But when we did that, we actually packed a duffel bag inside our bag, an empty duffel bag, so that we had room for it. Because we knew from South America we were coming home with stuff.
Nice.
Yes. But I'm totally with Karen. Yep. If you're not going to wear it, don't bring it. Don't bring it. If you even think you might not wear it and you're doing, well, just in case, just in case burns me every time, Crystal.
Or in case I turn into this wild party animal that I'm not, when I'm home normally, but I'm going to bring these cocktail dresses just in case I decide to go out every single night. Yeah.
Every time I go someplace, I make sure I bring the cocktail dress.
No. Likely not.
Yes. Back to Karen.
It's that you're going to run out of clothing. Think about washing your clothes while you're there. Find a laundromat. Some hotels have a washer and dryer on the premises. Other times you can just wash something in the sink and just iron it later. So think about doing that because you can really rewear pants, jeans, or top. Unless you're going to something super fancy and you really need all these different outfits, I would recommend doing that.
It's funny, when we went to Peru, I wore every shirt twice. So I packed for half the number of days that I had and wore every shirt twice. And the pairs of pants, probably about 2.5 times to her point. And all we're doing is going from point A to point B. We're not getting super dirty. So everything was great. Cheryl did at the hotel have a few items that she wanted washed partway through the trip and did that. So maybe putting the laundry cost and maybe a laundry day in the middle, especially if it's a long trip, would be a great travel hack.
Well, that's a good idea. I actually too, especially like swimsuits and stuff, and sometimes underwear. Like I wash that in the shower. Like any easy stuff to wash, I'll wash it right while I'm in the shower and hang it. And by the time we come back, everything's dry. And in Thailand, we paid for laundry and because it was super cheap. And now I semi learned how to fold my clothes because they came back all rolled up and folded so nice and neat and they weren't wrinkled. I was like, I need to remember how to do this. And of course I did not done it since, but the idea, it's the thought that counts.
That's totally the engineer in you, Crystal.
Right.
You're like, she's unfolding stuff, figuring out how they,
like this was so cool.
How they folded it. I did that. I worked a nonprofit race one time and I saw how they folded the t-shirts. People that like work at the stores fold the t-shirts. And now my t-shirt folding is my t-shirt folding game is strong.
Congrats.
I don't want to brag, but I can fold a t-shirt.
Folding game.
When you think about this, that extra bag fee, depending on where you are, is maybe $40. Yep. So people are like, well, I don't want to spend on the laundromat. I don't want to spend on the hotel, washing stuff. It's never been as expensive to wash stuff at the hotel as I thought that it would be when I've done that. It's always cheaper than I thought. But number two is I compare that to the $40 bag fee to pack extra stuff. So I feel like I've got $40 in my budget to play with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
It's either $20 for laundry, usually a lot less than that, or $40 for the next bag. Back to Karen.
And in general, I personally bring mix and match clothing. I bring a lot of solid tops, so it's very easy to match it with different pairs of pants or a skirt. And I always bring one fancier outfit or something that could go from daytime to nighttime very easily if I just throw on some jewelry, something like that. It
was either week 1 or week 2, our gear of the day, which for everybody who's new to Stacking Adventures, you'll hear our gear of the day. We have brand new gear of the day each week that we add to our page. But one of the gears of the day, Crystal, was a pair of pants that I have. Yeah. They're polyester. So when you look really close, and they don't look that great, but from far away, it just looks like a pair of khaki pants.
Yeah.
And they don't wrinkle. And I wear a nice shirt and that pair of khaki pants. And I've gone to Michelin star restaurants in those pants. So I love what she said. And I think even for women, Crystal, if you've got some outfit that is a little dressier, but you can still wear it while you're touring.
Oh yeah. Dresses are the easiest thing to wear because you could throw on a blazer with a regular old t-shirt dress. And everyone's like, whoa, why are you all dressed up? And I'm like, no, I just threw this blazer. And now, like a lot of my really cute blazers, they're thinner and thinner. It's just like a one layer, like super like foldable.
Well, and that makes it easy packing too.
Oh, definitely.
I have this fleece that I really like, an HH fleece that is wonderful. But I got to tell you, I stopped bringing it places because it's so freaking big in the bag. And I found instead some smart wool sweaters. I actually almost made one of these sweaters my gear of the day today, but I didn't. I did something else. But you might hear it in the future because they're so thin, Crystal, and they keep you so warm, but they pack really nice and small. So finding that middle ground, I think is super cool. Well, and to Karen's point, I've known you long enough to know you've got to be the queen of mix and match.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm the queen of wear the same few things over and over and over again. Cause like jeans you can wear like a lot of times before you have to wash them. Like those are like durable. Like you're not even supposed to overwash jeans because they lose their, the stability and stuff like that. So even I pack, sturdy long haul kind of items too.
Yeah. That you can wear again and again and again. For me, hiking pants have been they're comfortable. They look pretty good. Those are great. Back to Karen.
Whatever the male version is for that. If you have like a dark colored polo or some sort of jacket you can throw on, think about bringing some khakis and a sport coat, or maybe you just have a few nice button down shirts that you could either wear during the day or at night. I tend to think darker colors are better at night, depending on where you are. Just think about that when you're packing. You want things to be versatile and, like I said, easy to mix and match.
I want to say one more thing about darker colors too. Darker colors also make you less conspicuous. And I know especially for brand new adventures, you want to try to at least not say tourist all over you so that a lot of people are afraid safety wise, but darker colors, you tend to then fit in more.
Oh, and for me, I tend to spill everything. I love to spill
good
stuff.
Point.
I can't just hold a cup and make it to my mouth and back. Even after I put the cup down, I'm prone to spill it all over me. So that also darker colors help with the spillage.
I love red wine and I tend to get it all over everything.
That was why originally, back when I drank soda and pop, it was just bright. It had to be clear for me because I knew I would spill it. I knew it.
Welcome to the Midwesterners podcast because we're saying pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A little more from Karen.
Think about layers, and maybe some of those layers you wear on the plane. Yep. So if you can put your jacket on, even if you just take it off on the plane and put it on your lap, that can really help free up some space in your suitcase. Also, bring lightweight clothing if possible. Obviously, if it's super cold, you might have to rethink that, but stay away from bulky sweaters or anything that's really heavy and is going to make your suitcase weigh too much, or you're not going to have enough room. There's a lot of no-brainer basics like bringing your cell phone charger, having the right toiletries with you. You don't want to overdo it on the toiletries. If you don't normally wear a cologne at home, why would you bring it now? Don't bring all of this extra stuff that you wouldn't use in everyday life. Now,
I want Italians to know I smell great, Karen.
The whole bottle great.
Anyway, continue, Karen.
This is true for shampoo too. I feel like conditioner, yes. Like if I know I have to wash my hair, I may bring like a small bottle of my own conditioner, but shampoo is shampoo. You can wash your hair with pretty much any shampoo. That would be a totally, for me, an unnecessary thing to pack.
Even back when I had hair, I would use the hotel shampoo.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Flying internationally, make sure you check on what you can leave the country with. That is a really big deal. So, for example, I was able to bring a big zip top bag of toiletries, but on the way back, I didn't know that you can have 2 small ones on the way home. And we bought some jam for our relatives, and I had a lot of things in little bottles, and I kind of overdid it. I definitely brought some hair products that I didn't need. It was really embarrassing because they opened up my belongings right there, and you could see some of my girly items, and they're like giving me 2 plastic bags and my husband 2 plastic bags, and he's like taking the jams apart out of the boxes that we got these nice gifts for someone. And he's putting them in the bags, and then I'm trying to squish all my toiletries. And like,
this is, by the way, Karen, for you and for everybody else, on the way home, we will often buy, we'll buy wine. We might buy jams like you're talking about. You have to check that bag. If you check that bag, you're not going to have any of that problem. It can all go in as long as it's a check bag.
And there's a maximum number of bottles you can bring back. I didn't know that.
3 per person. I found that out in Chile.
Alcohol, yeah.
Yes, because all the wineries were like, you can have 6 between the 2 of you, so you should buy more. And I was like, no, Satan, stay away. And guess what? I still brought home 5 at the No, I brought home 6. I did bring home 6 because we went to the duty free at the airport because I found another bottle from one of the great wineries we went to, and brought home 6. But so I know firsthand, Crystal, it's 6.
My stuff is just open for anybody to look at. Hello, embarrassing. So try to do your homework, because those are things you tend to forget, and it can slow things down. And it just depends on how nice the airport people are. They were very nice in London. I wasn't being scolded or anything like that. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know, but try to look into as many details as you can. And sometimes you just don't know, and you got to wing it. And if you got to throw some things out, sometimes that happens.
This is a good hack. I like she's talking about preparing ahead of time, Crystal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I did in Budapest that was really helpful. I always worry about how we're going to get from the airport to the hotel, right? And by the way, and I didn't say this when we talked about Peru. In Peru, our hotel had a car that would come get you. It was going to be $80. $80 for the hotel to come get us. Instead, we paid, I think, $12 to Uber to the hotel from the airport, which was a little ways out. So it was a longish trip. So don't pay for the hotel car to come get you because you don't know. Lots of YouTubers now make videos. And when we were in Budapest, this guy did a video of, okay, here's where you are in customs. And when you come out, you're going to see all these guys with signs. And sure enough, he comes out and he shows a picture of all these guys with signs. He goes, you don't want to go to any of those taxi people. You go around the corner here and to the left, and there's the official Budapest taxi line. And in Budapest, that's the cheapest place to go. And sure enough, I went around and I went to the official line. We were second in line, and we end up going from the airport to our hotel for like $6.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing. But had I not known that, I would have stopped at one of those guys standing there with the signs.
Right,
hey, taxi,
that's where I'm
taxi.
going. Perfect.
Yeah. Watch
button.
Watch YouTube videos. And I felt so comfortable. I actually felt like, Crystal, like I'd been there before, because the guy not only told us about taxis, he also said, if you want to take a bus into town, go over here. And he'd like pause the video and circle it on the video. Like, go to this thing if you want to take a bus. Go here for the taxi. It was really neat. All right, back to Karen.
If packing is a bit of a nightmare for you, go to this site called travelschecklist.com. So that's travel with an S at the end, checklist.com, to customize your packing list, because different places will require you to bring different things, and it's very easy to forget. So you go there and it'll ask you questions about who you're packing for, the expected weather, the activities planned, and how long you plan on staying, because obviously that makes a big difference as to how much you pack. And I love this because if you're going somewhere with warm weather and you're heading to the beach, you want to make sure you're bringing things like sunscreen and bathing suits, whatever else you may need that you might forget while you're at the beach. So I recommend checking out this website. I tend to forget to bring cash in other currencies because I love using my credit cards and getting rewards for everything. And it just makes things a lot easier to track, and you don't want to lose money, etc. Yeah. But I will say it is nice to tip someone in cash, or if you see musicians playing on the street, you don't have any money. I feel bad. I always like to tip musicians and wait staff, so it makes it a lot easier for them, and they end up with more in their pocket. Also, I do try to use miles and points as much as I can with credit cards. If you know how to use credit cards responsibly and you pay in full, so you're not getting beat on interest or anything like that, to reap the benefits of it, it's an excellent way to travel. And I say try to book your trip 6 months to a year in advance internationally. I just did this for London. And not only will the trip be cheaper, you can stretch your points a little bit more. I like to use my points for the airfare, and if I have enough, do it for a hotel as well. And if you can splurge, if you're going somewhere that's a longer trip, why not try to fly first class? Whenever I'm walking on the plane and all those people have already been seated, they look super comfortable, and I'm struggling to get my bag on the plane. I always think the next time I go on a faraway trip, I'm going to fly first class. And you have to have that mindset of that boy band NSYNC and say, it's going to be me. Also, though it can't hurt to upgrade to first class if you have lots of points, it can hurt to stay in coach. If you're on a long flight, your back could start hurting, your tailbone, your legs are uncomfortable, especially if you're tall or if you just tend to feel a little squished in the seats. Why not splurge on sitting in first class?
Awesome. Thank you, Karen, for the tips. You know, I think I think, and we talked about first class before. Clearly, you want to be comfortable when you get there. You have to find a way to sleep on the plane if it's a long flight. Those flights to Europe are usually red eyes. You're up all night long, and it's so much easier to sleep if you've got a lay flat. But even if you don't, like I learned, that premium economy, not bad. It's like a domestic first class where the seat doesn't go all the way back, but it's that big roomy seat. And I slept pretty decent the last time, when we were coming back from South America. Slept really decent there. And we did the same on the way back from Asia. We did lay flat on the way to Asia, and we did premium economy on the way home. So sucked it up a little bit on the way home. But still, we were like, okay, this is way better than I thought that it was going to be.
Oh, that's great. I've been economy every long hour, Dubai, Switzerland, all of them. But I'm a middle seat person, though. I don't mind sitting in the middle just because I like having people on both sides of me.
So you can rest your head on some rando's
or talk,
shoulder.
Or there's turbulence. I grab the person next to me like, oh, sorry. But well, we talked about this before.
Yes.
So I don't mind being cramped, even as a 5'10" person, tall person. But
Crystal
I do.
is slightly tall.
I aspire to the lay flats, though. Oh, that would be great. Well, it's time for our next music to play.
Oh.
That's our road trip pit stop. So we're halfway through today's show, and it's time for the pit stop. So our road trip pit stop. On the pit stop, you're always dreaming about, okay, what's at the end of the rainbow, at the end of the adventure? Are we there yet? How cool will it be to just get there, just be transported there already? So our pit stop is always a hint at our gear of the day. And you can see our past gear of the days at stackingadventures.com/gear of the day or GOTD. So Joe, what's our hint today?
All right. Our hint at gear of the day. This is something I didn't used to pack. And once I started packing it for all my travel, stuff got better. It keeps you feeling super comfortable. So I'll give you that tip. This is gear that keeps you feeling super comfortable all the time. In fact, I used to pack it specifically just for one type of activity that I did. But now whenever I travel, I specifically pack this gear. I got the advice when I was in Nepal that if I didn't feel great during the day, just swap out this gear for fresh stuff and it will restore your energy in a way that you didn't think was possible. You can buy it in a lot of different colors. You generally find it at places like REI or Dick's Sporting Goods, maybe a Bass Pro Shop. So that is my clue for gear of the day. And in just a moment, Crystal's going to guess at the end of the show. Adventures, you'll get to guess what it is, and I'll reveal it. But let's give Crystal a couple minutes while we hear from the sponsors that make the show possible and hear what Crystal thinks is our gear of the day. All right, Crystal. So this gear is gear that I didn't used to pack for all my travel. Now I do pack it for all my travel. I used to use it for just a certain activity before. It keeps you feeling super comfortable. I got the advice when I was in Nepal that if you didn't feel great, just swap it out and it'll restore your energy in a way that you did not. I was surprised that this was good advice. I was like, really? That will make me feel better? Yep. And sure enough, it did. So you'll find this often you'll find it in lots of different colors, and you can generally find this gear at a place like REI, Dick's Sporting Goods, maybe a Bass Pro Shop.
Interesting.
And more specialized stores. But if I tell you the specialized stores, then I think you'll get what it is. All right. What do you think our gear of the day is, Crystal?
See, when you threw me off when you said different colors, because I was totally thinking Dr. Scholl's, like some foot pads, like the inner soles you swap out. But then you wouldn't care what color those are. It's not the travel pillow.
I have those for my running shoes. I have the inserts,
you do?
And those are good, but not
inner soles. Yeah, inner soles.
Yep.
And then I was thinking like maybe travel pillow or something like that, because those are colors, but I always forget my travel pillow. What could it be? I don't know, because I was thinking a foot thing.
You gonna go travel pillow?
I'm going to say it's not shoelaces. Who would relace their shoes? I feel refreshed. It's not deodorant. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with it's not a butt pad to sit on.
I swap out my butt pad and I feel great.
Shoes, I would say some kind of footwear.
All right. Well, we'll see how close Crystal got, if she got close at the end of today's show.
I don't think I'm close.
But Crystal, we got some great advice from some of our Stacking Benjamins fans for this one. Obviously, early on, people still getting used to the fact that this is this adventure show, guys, is all yours. Give us your voicemails, and as you can see now, I think at the beginning people didn't really get what we were doing. Yeah. So give us your voicemails. What is your travel adventure? Give us either a short story, a longer story. Karen gave us 5 minutes worth of tips.
No, that's great.
You can give us 5 minutes worth of tips. Amanda did that last week, or it can be more like Stephanie, where it was a simple story about being on the side of the road. Like whatever your travel story was it funny? Was it horrible? Is it just tips like Karen gave us? stackingadventures.com/mystory. And we're looking for your stories for Japan.
Yeah.
We need your stories for Japan, and we need your stories for Peru or Chile. So those are places we've been, and we got some great new adventures coming up, and we can't wait to get your takes on those either. But Crystal, we've got a bunch of these that we're going to read. Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Dylan Rhodes. He's a quick one. So Dylan says, typically I like to use shopping portals like Mr. Rebate or Rakuten for cash back. But if they don't have a decent rebate, he just goes to, for American Airlines, AAAdvantageShopping.com. And he's saying you can get American Airline miles for making online purchases through their portal. No need to manually transfer miles. It's all integrated with your American account. It's good for keeping your account active and not letting miles expire as well. Oh, that is a good one. Not only do you make sure you're going through your travel programs portal when you're making a purchase, why not just compare? Because if I'm upgrading my Dyson vacuum, that's a pretty pricey purchase. And if I'm not buying it at Costco, I'm going to see, okay, does American give me the higher points, or does Chase give me the higher points? So now it's like, all right, who wants my money? Who wants my business? Who's going to give me the most points for this?
Well, I think a lot of people don't even know that airlines have shopping portals attached to them.
Airlines.
And often it's not just airlines. I know that Capital One also has a shopping portal. They also have a travel site where you can earn Capital One points by using their travel. American Express has their own travel as well. But American Airlines, I was so surprised, Crystal, by the number of other ways I could get points with American Airlines. They have a dining program where if you end up you take any credit card, it doesn't have to be an American Airlines card. You give them the card numbers so that they watch you shop. By the way, that's what they want to do. Right. They want to use you for marketing to watch you shop. They don't care about Crystal Hammond or Joe Salci. They care about this demographic, so that they can watch. And then in exchange, when you go to one of the restaurants that are on their list of restaurants, they'll give you airline points, which I found surprising. They also have a deal with American Airlines, has a deal with Uber. So whenever I ride in Uber, I get American Airlines points. And with Avis, when I rent a car through Avis, I get American Airlines points.
Yeah, it is funny too. Going back to another tip, one of the times I was going to Cali for Napa, I rented a car because friends that went before, they were like, it's kind of hard to get from point A to point B. And they rented a car, and they were like, yeah, the car rental was dirt cheap. So I went on to my Chase portal, and while I was still on the airplane, I booked my rental car, and it was dirt cheap too.
That's fabulous.
Another hack. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Although that can be dangerous. I remember right after the pandemic, places were running out of cars, and I made that mistake, and I ended up with a car, luckily, but barely. got a car. Katie McCarthy has one. Katie says, speaking of American Airlines miles are hard to earn beyond a sign-up bonus. It's so true.
Yeah.
I went to an event called Camp FI, and there are these financial independence weekends that you go on at retreat centers. Super fun. Look up Camp FI if you're into that type of thing. But I remember they had a little travel hacking section where for an hour we sat in a circle and we talked about travel hacking. And I found out that American Airlines, according to a lot of these uber money geeks, is like the worst program of all. It's the hardest to earn points. Katie says, I find their best values for domestic trips booked close to departure. And it's funny, Katie, that you say that, because what I've heard from everybody is what Karen said earlier, which is save those points for going overseas, so that you can upgrade to at least business class or premium economy and get those seats that are going to make it more comfortable. Here's the deal with those, Crystal. Those point programs go really, really fast. So you have to book those like almost a year in advance to be able to get the direct flights and use points for them. Companies, though, it's so difficult to use those points. When we went to Italy, we ended up on this weird trip taking 3 planes instead of 1 because of the fact that we used points. Now, the good news was we got the lay flat because of that, but we had to because we did it later. So if you're going to use them for international flights, you got to do it really, really, really early because it's competitive. Otherwise, I like what Katie says, because if there's extra spots on those planes, they will give you better deals. In fact, she says, I've flown from my overpriced dinky airport in Western Colorado that has 7 flights a day. Oh, Katie thinks it's bad they have 7 flights a day.
Oh.
You know how many Texarkana has, Crystal?
It's not a real place.
2. We have 2 flights a day.
Yikes.
So, and 3 of those are on American Airlines. Show off. We can fly anywhere we want, Katie, in Texarkana, as long as it's American Airlines. The reason I use American is because it's all I can do. She says they go to Florida, Georgia, Ohio, Minnesota, et cetera, for 6,000 to 9,000 miles each way. That's pretty good. These are flights that go for $200 to $450 at their cheapest. Also, the $7,000 flight might be a horrible 18-hour odyssey with 3 connections, but keep scrolling. There's usually something much better for not much more, like 9,000. And that is true, Katie. You'll start at the top of the page and you'll see these awful 3 connection flights. And if you go to like page 2, page 3, I don't know why this is, Crystal, but hidden on page 3, you'll find this phenomenal trip. I remember we were taking a trip to the Middle East. And when we were doing this trip to Jordan and then to Egypt, at the bottom of page 2, most of the flights were like 250,000 points to go halfway around the world. 120,000 points. We found a flight, and it was quicker to get there, and it was just hidden at the bottom. And there were only 2 left, and we grabbed them. It was great, but you gotta scroll and look.
See, and most people have scroll fatigue, because I would not make it to pages 2 and 3. I just say, nope, this isn't for me. So that's smart. Don't fall privy to scroll fatigue.
Good point. What else we got here, Crystal? These are great.
Let's hit this hop to Jamie Tobler.
All right.
A friend we traveled with said his mom told him to put his outfit for the day in a Ziploc bag, so everything he needed for that day was organized, and he squished them down to get the air out so it made more room in his bag. I love this.
You talked about, we haven't had this as gear of the day yet, but the vacuum packing things you can do.
But I had the other packing cubes, my other ones that they zip extra to more compact, but I use those for everything. But I usually use them to compartmentalize. So like all my underwear is in one of the cubes, and then all the shirts are in one cube, pants, shorts. But I may switch to outfit in each cube. That's a good idea.
You know, and I think, Jamie, to add to what you're saying here, it also makes sense to put one change of clothing in your carry-on.
Yeah.
Just so if your bag gets lost, you've got one change of clothes, and make sure you've got your toothbrush in there. You've got some of your toiletries in your carry-on so that if your bag gets lost.
These are golden.
Mark Bays has one. I think Mark is kidding because Mark says shipping your clothes by UPS could be cheaper than paying a luggage fee. This is super interesting. And Paula Pant and I were talking about this on one of the Afford Anything shows. That one thing that people, I don't even remember how we got on this topic, but Paula and I got a question at Afford Anything, and my son found out that shipping stuff via the airline or shipping it via the like Greyhound bus can often be cheaper than using UPS.
Greyhound.
It was the weirdest thing. He took this stuff to the Greyhound station and had it shipped via Greyhound, and the person went to the Greyhound place and picked it up, and it did so. I don't know that. Listen, if you want your stuff to get there at the same time that you get there, I probably am not going to ship my clothes by UPS or by Greyhound or whatever. But if I am just moving a bunch of stuff to point A to point B, looking at alternate ways to do that could be interesting. So thanks for that one, Mark.
Well, and I can totally see this coming home. Like going there, I'm not shipping anything, but coming home, yeah, because you generally don't care when as long as I just want me home. Everything else, I got extras. So
Cheryl had a piece of pottery that she had shipped back when she bought this beautiful piece of pottery, and it showed up in this big crate.
I was later on,
and that's actually kind of fun, Crystals, because to your point, that extended the vacation a little bit. You know what I mean? 4 days after we get home, this big crate shows up from Peru, and you're like, "Oh, here it is. The rest of our stuff."
Beautiful. Oh, that's special. I would have been afraid they would break it, but a big crate. Okay.
Let's do one more.
Okay. Stacy. We have Stacy Marino. So she's saying that E-Trade and Morgan Stanley Platinum members receive 10% off Lindblad Cruises and AUM, which is assets under management, not required.
Well, that's interesting.
That is.
Well, this is not just Stacy. Thanks for this one. Not just E-Trade and Morgan Stanley. By the way, it's funny. I met Stacy at a Camp Fi. We were talking about Camp Fi earlier.
Cool.
So thanks for this tip, Stacy. But I think there's a bigger point here. Obviously, if you're E-Trade, Morgan Stanley, you might want to look into Lindblad Cruises. But look at some of these organizations, Crystal, that you belong to. Probably as an engineer, you belong to some engineering organizations.
Yes, I do.
I know that Costco has some benefits, some travel related stuff that you can do through Costco, which doesn't seem like something. I know that if you work for a big company, I know that my dad worked for General Motors, and we always got discounted Cedar Point tickets, the regional theme park in Ohio.
I love Cedar Point. Yeah.
We get discounted tickets because he worked for General Motors. So if you're just traveling to theme parks, you get some special treatment.
You never know. And I like how they point out assets under management not required. So this, you don't even have to have any assets with them to use their program for the discounts too.
Just open.
Yeah. Hello, AARP. I think they're the kings and queens of that because people don't want to admit their AARP age, but they've got some amazing discounts too.
Well, and here's the deal, Crystal. I have seen some hacks online where people in their 20s are joining AARP to get discounts that you can join at whatever age you want.
Right. They cannot discriminate by age.
And they will get some great discounts while they're in their 20s.
Nice.
So here's our question for you, our venture friends. Those are some more packing tips. We're going to do potpourri episodes in the future. You have some packing tips, but even better, if you want to be on our show where we talk about your trips to Japan, your trip to South America, like to Peru or Chile that we talked about.
The moon. I would love to talk to a space traveler.
Head to stackingadventures.com/mystory. And certainly there's deadlines for each of those. Get them in as soon as you can. But Crystal, you and I were talking before we hit record today. Just send them to us at any time. Please
do. We want to hear it. You may forget, or even, if you've already sent one in, you forgot part of a story.
And you see, it's super easy to use. When you go to stackingadventures.com/mystory, there's literally just a hit record button, and it will count it down, and you just talk into your recording device, whatever it might be, your phone, your computer. Super easy to use.
Yeah, because didn't Ashley send us hers from Antarctica? Alaska.
She did. Amanda. Yes.
Yeah, Amanda.
No, from Antarctica.
Yeah, from Antarctica.
Super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Here comes the music.
I love this music, by the way.
I think that means it's gear of the day time.
Yes, it's answer time.
All right, Crystal. So here's the deal. My gear of the day makes you comfortable when you're on your trip. I used to buy it just for one specific activity. Now I take it everywhere. And I got the advice when I was in Nepal that if I didn't feel great during the day, just swap it out and it'll restore my energy in a way that I didn't think was possible. You can buy it in a lot of different colors. You'll find a place like REI, Dick's Sporting Goods, maybe Bass Pro Shop. What do you think my gear of the day is?
And it's not sunglasses because it's a pair. Sunglasses? Maybe you needed sunglasses? No.
Oh, so you're gonna go away from shoes.
No, shoes. Let's go back to shoes. Yeah.
Well, you
were boots.
You were so close, Crystal, because for everybody hanging out with us on YouTube today, we make this on the Stacking Benjamins YouTube page. Good.
Really?
Hiking socks. Okay. So I switched from using regular socks to hiking socks because they have extra support down at the bottom, extra comfort. They're also made to be like sweat wicking. And it is amazing. If during halfway through the day you're not feeling great, have an extra pair of socks in your backpack. Swap out your socks, and I swear to God, this guy nailed it. You just get a new pair of socks, your feet feel great again, and then you're off. So take another pair of socks, and when you're in a restroom. But the hiking socks made for you to log a bunch of steps. And oh my goodness, if you could feel the bottom of these socks, there's so much padding on them, Crystal.
Yeah, I would think.
This particular type I like. You'll see there's like mountains on them. These socks are called Darn Tough Vermont, made in Vermont, Darn Tough socks. So I like those.
I will buy them. I will use the link, and I will definitely buy some of those. I want to try that out because I know they tell you even for gym shoes, like try not to wear the same pair, back to back because you need the shoe to, get its elasticity back and, contract again. If you're wearing the same ones every day, you're wearing out the support.
I didn't even know that. That makes sense though.
A new pair of supportive socks every few
hours.
Yeah. I like that. I hit the like button on that.
Super easy. Love that. So for all of our gear of the day, which is every bit as badass as these socks are, head to stackingadventures.com/GOTD and you'll see the gear of the day. And you know what?
Yeah, me.
That's our Amazon link to buy these, and you help out the show, and it's the same price as if you went directly to Amazon. So thanks to everybody who's helped us keep on podcasting.
Nice. Well, thanks for listening too.
Coming up next week, I think we're going to keep it a surprise, Crystal.
Let's keep it a surprise. Zip our own lips.
Super excited to share, but we might have special guests joining us. Just
who knows? Right.
Is it us?
Is it a guess?
Yeah, I said let's keep it a surprise because I didn't want to look it up, but then I went and looked it up, and we do. we are going to a city in America next. We've been around the world. We're staying in the USA.
Yes, we are.
Yes, and we're doing one certain activity that Crystal, you and I have done. We've done this activity before.
You guys probably have too. I think our listeners have done this before.
may have.
The mystery.
But not as creatively as these ladies have. Oh, and I gave away something else to its ladies.
Oh, man.
Yes.
See, we knew Joe couldn't keep the lip-zipped.
Thanks to everybody who's left us a review of this show. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who's used the link for the gear of the day. And that's going to do it for this week.
All right. It's a wrap.
She's Crystal.
And he's Joe. I did it right.
All right. We'll see you next time.
stackingadventures.com.